Hey, what's up, guys? So, I told you we'd be doing another video. Apparently, we're going to be doing one a little sooner than expected. So, basically, it's Monday. I just finished with my 8 a.m. client. I have a client at 8 a.m. every day. We'll be doing a video with him as well. He's an amazing guy. He's a priest, a Catholic priest. He's also a psychologist, has his PhD, really smart guy, and we're gonna kind of interview him, and he said he's up for it, so be on the lookout for that. But anyways, this video is gonna be all about, addictions, underlying addictions, as I call them. I think a lot of us suffer from them, and like I said in the last video, we might not even know we have that addiction. And so, a few that I have experience with is, a spending habit. I definitely, when money was coming in at one point, my debt was high, my income was high, but my debt got higher than my income. And let's say I had a $4,000 or $5,000 month, whatever I was doing, I would see that as like, that's a big bag of fun. Instead of taking it off the top, saving it, I would spend it, and it got to be something that it was addicting, but I didn't even know I just thought it was normal. I was never taught like how to save. I don't really come from that type of family where they're in tune with their financial. It wasn't until I met this guy, Nolan, who was actually one of my clients in Dixon, and he's a financial advisor and whatnot, that I realized I got a problem. A problem that if I don't stop now, I'm gonna be in trouble. So that was one of my underlying addictions. I think that a lot of us can relate to that. We kind of live out of our means as Americans anyways. I think well over 50% of us do. A lot of people live off of credit. I'm glad that I didn't get too bad into credit. I never really opened up my credit card at a max of $500 or something back in college. So the next addiction, though, that I think that I see a lot of you guys, especially on the Instagram, is seeking approval. We kind of get addicted to the likes, get addicted to putting up this facade, an image that we all kind of live through. There's a cop over there, and we kind of base our personalities. We kind of base our, who we are on what we see on the outside, and we kind of live up to other people's expectations unknowingly. And that's an addiction, and there's a lot of people in the fitness community that I follow that I know do that, and it's almost like they have to, we don't really show what's really going on. We kind of show, okay, you got the nice car, got a nice watch, I got the nice girlfriend. You're gonna show off your girl who's, probably sometimes they look a little fake. A lot of these women nowadays on Instagram, it's not attractive to me at all. That's kind of why the girl I have right now, I'm really attracted to it, because she doesn't really flaunt her stuff on Instagram, and she could. She has all those assets, believe me. So that in itself has been an addiction for me that was underlying it. I would post a picture, and I only have 400 followers. I don't have too many, but I got addicted to someone hitting that like button. I really did. It made me feel good. It like, okay, I got their approval. My body looks good. When in reality, who cares? It's a complete. I think it's a facade, that we show on the Instagram, instead of showing our true self and the value, because value, to me, in my opinion, is a lot more than what's on the outside. I think it's kind of what you do, not only, when no one's watching, and it's important to realize that and not get too caught up in the likes and on Instagram, and kind of living up to other people's standards. That's kind of one of my underlying addictions that I felt like was addicting. I had a few messages. People were like, "What is it? A substance? What are you addicted to?" You know, even my girlfriend, she called me yesterday and was like, "What is it that you're addicted to?" She didn't even know, you know, and it's something that I've learned a little bit about myself. So, you know, I figured a lot of us could relate to that. I know you could, even though a lot of us don't want to admit it, but you know, if you're a female or a guy, you know, females, when you take that booty picture on Instagram, you're seeking validation. You know, you are seeking validation. Yeah, you might be showing off that you're a couple weeks out and whatnot, and that's fine. But I think a lot of us, like I said, get caught up in that, and it's important to realize that. You know, not saying who am I to judge. You know, do what you want. But yeah, I had to step away from Instagram for a while just because I felt like, you know, that was kind of what I was doing, is seeking other people's approval, you know. But from here on out, my next move is to fix these underlying addictions, because I want to be able to be free 100%, and it's very hard when you have these addictions. The only addiction I want is this addiction. I have a Peet's coffee addiction. Honestly, I spend about $5 a day on it, times 30 days a month. It's about 150 bucks a month. It's kind of something I set aside for. I have my own coffee money. And keep in mind, guys, I showed you my place yesterday. I'm very blessed to live there because my overhead is very low, obviously, and so my debt is next to nothing. Everything I make, a lot of it goes to savings, so I can afford to have this coffee every day. It's kind of my little luxury. And I love the pavilions up here. This is kind of where I hang out at, because it's where I kind of want to be. You know, I have there's a neighborhood by the pavilions where I want to reside in if you know, when I start working in Vacaville. I don't necessarily want to move to the Bay Area because the overhead's high. I have a client right now, Leo, actually, really good guy, successful guy, you know, pulls some serious cash in his business that he has, but you know, he could have a $500,000 a year, but he's got over 250K in overhead. And so it's counterintuitive. He would be you know, I'd love for Leo to move down here, because you know, it's a life-changing thing. As far as the income goes, you know, it's different. You know, I have a few friends in the Bay Area that if they lived out here, they would be doing a lot better. But nonetheless, that's kind of what I'm talking about today, guys. Is, you know, ask yourself, why am I posting this picture? You know, why am I gonna go spend this money? Am I spending this money? Could this money go towards other things? Or am I just addicted to show people what's on the outside? You know, am I wearing these shoes because I really like the shoes? Or am I wearing it because it's what everyone has? You know, and like I said, it goes hand in hand, the money thing, and then seeking other people's approval on Instagram, social media, and stuff like that. You're really not showing who you really are, you know. And that goes hand in hand. Again, I have a lot of friends that are, you know, in the bodybuilding game, and I could see when they're on. You know, we know what we're talking about here. When you're on that gear, okay? When you're on that gear, is your personality based off of how big you are and how you are in that moment? You know, when you're on. But let's take away the gear. Let's take away all that stuff and show who you really are. Are you as confident? Are you really as confident as you are? Or is it just the gear talking, you know? And that's why I think it's really important for guys that are thinking about, you know, competing and hopping on and going into that dark world of bodybuilding, or just wanting to look good, and you're gonna go ahead and go take something. You know, do what you want, it's your body. but I think that it's very important to establish a good mental base, you know, as far as finding yourself before you go that route. I think you really need to base your personality and things like that off of who you are already. Okay, make sure you have that established, because you can get really caught up in thinking that, you know, you just get really caught up in thinking what's on the outside is what really matters, you know, and you kind of base your confidence. You walk around and stuff, and you just wear your physique around and act like that's the end all be all, when in my opinion it's not, you know. So I have some experience with seeing that, you know. And another thing that I wanted to say is working out can actually be an addiction. I think it's a good addiction. I don't think it's a bad addiction. For me, I've done that. The Tahoe show was the last show, and just looking back on it, it was a lot of money spent and not a lot of money coming in, you know. And I think that I was 100% addicted to that. I went through various jobs throughout that. I was a GM. I worked for the Sacramento Coroner unit, just doing whatever I can to fill that workout addiction of, you know, wanting to compete. I wanted to go pro and stuff like that. It's no longer what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to go pro in something else besides bodybuilding. But I still respect it. I respect the game. It's hard work. So that's another thing, guys, is seeking other people's approval, right? Validation, underlying addiction. We get addicted to the likes and whatnot. Spending habits without even knowing it, okay? Working out, like I said, you know, getting into your physique and kind of living or being, wearing your physique as your personality, you know? So those are the main three, guys. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed yet, if you want, subscribe. I'm not doing this, you know, I'm just doing this because I feel like it could help others out, and kind of let you guys in on, obviously, the real me. I'm going to be doing some other things. Like I said, I tend to ramble on a little bit, guys, so I just do these videos in one take. Obviously, we're going to get a better camera when we build up that capacity to make that transaction, if you know what I'm saying. And we will get a better camera, I promise. Until then, it's just going to be on this iPhone 5S, so take it how you want. I think the message comes across either way. But nonetheless, guys, I wanted to clear that up because I had a few messages on, man, are you addicted to a substance? That last video has me worried. You know, all my friends are just like, what's going on? So it was only like 3 messages, guys, in my DMs. I know I'm not that big of a deal. I only have 400 followers, but like I said, I don't care. I find it very therapeutic to do these videos. I enjoy it. I feel like it gives me like an outlet. And if you guys want to watch, if you guys want to collaborate, if you guys want to do a video with me, I would be more than happy to, because I think it's fun. Even if you're a bodybuilder, whatever, I love the sport. It's just, it's not me anymore, and it's not really what I want to do, you know. So nonetheless, guys, I have a client actually in let's see, 15 minutes. This is just my daily thing. I drive through the pavilions. I go see my, it's actually my house. I call it my